Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 1st of March 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this last trading days of this week's traders tea time, if I can say that grammatically like that, of course. But yep, welcome everyone, guys. Welcome to this Friday's traders tea time, where we're gonna have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. There's always a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, let's quickly jump into the charts. Okay, now the first one I want to touch on here is the DAX. Now looking at DAX, DAX is having a fantastic day today, and of course after opening with a nice gap here to the upside, it also managed to get above this 11,570 level that I was talking about this one in one of my previous videos where I was covering DAX, and basically what I was saying, that a nice good move above this could potentially, of course, open the path towards slightly higher levels, where the next potential target could be around the 11,680 zone. And you can see we had a fantastic bang on touch on that level of the 11,680 zone, and that was that one marks the high of the 22nd of October, and also not far from the highs of the 2nd of November. So this area now becomes the next one to watch, and of course for the future, of course, a nice good push above that could open the path towards the 11,850 level. So that's why for now, guys, certainly this is looking quite bullish. We could see maybe at some point a bit of a retracement back down, but what I also wanted to show you, of course, is just not to forget basically that we're still trading below this downside resistance line, a long-term downside resistance line taken from the high of January last year. So you can see, of course, it's a bit of a tentative one because we only have 2 touches here and quite a big gap here, but still something for you guys to keep an eye on. But also what I wanted to point out is you can see that the index continues to climb higher and kind of trading above this upside support line, imaginary one. But what I wanted to show you actually is the a potential rising channel here, because if you look at this, we do have a nice formation here, and basically, yes, it is trading above this upside support line taken from the lows of December, last December, of course, but like I said, it could be trading within a rising channel as well. And this level that I just talked about earlier, the 11,850, could be that perfect test here of the upper bound as well. So not only a good area of resistance here, and also a nice high here that we saw here around the 17th of October. So basically this 11,850 level marks the high of the 17th of October, and also this is where the index could test the upper bound of this potential rising channel formation. So that's why, guys, for now, of course, we are more positive than negative. Of course, we're going to continue monitoring higher levels, but first we would like to see now a nice good pop above this 11,680 level that we've managed to reach today. A nice good push above that could, yep, send the index further up here towards this area that I was talking about. On the downside, if this suddenly reverses back down and drops below the 11,570 zone. Now this is where probably the bulls should start worrying a little bit, maybe just from the short term perspective, of course, because we could see maybe a move lower here, potentially driving this one, driving this index towards this 11,375 level marked by the high of the 5th of February, or even actually going all the way towards a maybe possible potential retest of this lower bound of the rising channel. Again, for now, it seems that the downside could be slightly off the table, but like I said, we are keeping a close eye on just on some lower levels, just in case this suddenly reverses back down and drops lower. And this level here, the 11,570 level, could be that nice area to watch out for. And like I said, a nice good break below that could potentially send this index a little bit lower. So keep your eyes on that one. That's quite an interesting development happening here right now on the DAX. Jumping into another index, but this one is going to be a bit of a different one, which is the dollar index. Now, looking at the DXY here, you can see that we managed to push higher, and well, should I say the DXY managed to push higher and managed to break this downside resistance line taken from the high, or should I say the highest point of February, basically. So managed to push it. Now it's managed to break it to the upside. Now it's trying to push higher. The only thing is, for now, we're still going to remain somewhat more neutral, because basically, yes, on one hand, yeah, we could travel further up here, but for a better confirmation of the upside, we would like to see a nice good push above the 96.40 level first, and then we will target areas like the 96.60, 65, something like that, or even actually going all the way towards the 97 zone. But again, for now, in terms of the upside, we need to see a nice good push above the 96.40 level first, and only then we'll aim for higher levels, because this could still reverse lower and drop lower. Because looking at this, we can see that we do have a nice, for now it's a very tentative upside support line, which started on the 10th of January, and of course we could see a retest of that line again. But to be honest, for us, before we could consider this scenario, we would like to see a drop below the 95.80 level, and only because then it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and then we could, like I said, target this area right here near this upside support line. If a third scenario that could happen here is, of course, if it fails to drive above the 96.40 level and then reverses back down, and then fails to drive below the 95.80 level. Now we could see something of a range here, which could maybe drag for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but something like that could be possible as well. But so that's why, guys, for now we're going to remain neutral on this one, but keep a close eye on some of these key resistance and support levels. So keep your eyes on that one. Platinum, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, just wanted to quickly mention it. I was talking about this one this morning in my Trader's Espresso, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this upside support line. So we were initially trading around the pivot today, but you can see that the commodity managed to drop lower and managed to break this upside support line. And what I was telling you guys as well, to keep a close eye on this 860 level, because even if we're going to drop below the upside support line, we still need to see a nice good confirmed break here below the 860 level, and only then we'll target areas like 850 or below. For now, you can see that yes, we did have a break of this upside support line, but this area around the 860 level held the price nicely from kind of falling further. We can see that we're getting a bit of retracement back to the upside here, so that's why this is now putting us more into a neutral position, because in order to, let's say, consider further acceleration to the upside, we would like to see a nice good clearance of the recent highs, which were around the 878 level. This way we could then target higher areas going towards maybe the 900 level. So that's why for now the 878 level is the one that we're keeping a close eye on the upside, and on the downside is the 860 level. A nice good drop below this could potentially send this commodity, should I say precious metal, to the downside, so at least towards the 850 level, and then we'll take it from there. Jumping into EURGBP now, this is something that we've posted today on TradingView, and let me just quickly show you what it was basically. And if this is gonna load up finally, this would be really good. Oh, it's taking a while a little bit, so okay guys, so do apologize for that. So basically this is something that we've posted here today, and we were talking about this this little box, this little range that the pair was stuck in, and I was telling you guys to kind of keep a close eye on these boundaries of these this little range, and you can see that we managed to break it to the upside, managed to push higher, and this is where it ended up going to. It ended up going towards this this R2, which is around the 0.8614 level. Certainly just fell shy of hitting this our target here, which was near the 0.8620, but that's okay. You can see that the pair is retracing right now lower a little bit. Let me just get rid of this arrow here from this chart, and you can see that it's retracing, but it's currently finding good support near the R1, which is around the 0.8594 level, 93, something like that. So keep your eyes on that in this one, guys. If this remains above this box and above this little range here, and just gonna mention you guys ranges between the 0.8565 level and on the 0.8585 as well. So so basically guys, keep your eyes on this little range, and let's see if it manages to kind of remain here above this, and if it does, then yep, there could be a good potential here to see this one traveling further up here, where we could then maybe test the 0.8620 level again, and potentially target higher levels if this fails to withhold. On the downside, keep your eyes on the 0.8565. A drop below this could potentially lead towards further declines, maybe even actually a retest of the recent lows here, or should I say this week's lows, which were around the 0.8530. So keep your eyes on that one. USDJPY, now this had a nice run here, and I was talking about this one this morning. Basically, I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this R2, and which we managed to reach today. Well, maybe just fell shy of a couple of ticks of hitting that exactly, but still we managed to travel further, and now we can see that the pair is kind of retracing back down slightly. Of course, this is the scenario that we've got in our heads here. Basically, we could see maybe a bit of a correction here back down towards the 111.45 zone. If it fails to drive below this, then we could see maybe more bulls jumping in here again and potentially taking advantage of the lower rate and pushing this one back up again. So the area that we're keeping a close eye on the upside is around the 112.20 zone, and just going to remind you what that level was here in the past. That was the low that we saw here back here on the around the 19th and 18th of December, and also the 9th and the 6th of December as well. So basically, previously it acted as a good area of support, and now it can take the role of being in a nice area of resistance. So that's why, guys, for now, keep your eyes on that one. But first, we could see maybe a bit of a correction here to the downside, and like I said, keep your eyes on the 111.45 zone. Let's see if it continues to hold. If this decides to, well, if let's say if it fails to withhold and we see the rate falling further down here towards the 111.20 and actually then breaking that one, now this is where it could become a little bit let's say worse for the bulls, because we could see maybe a deeper correction here to the downside towards this upside support line that has been running here from the lows of the 3rd of January. So for now, guys, keep your eyes on some of these key levels. Let's see how this day is going to end and where the pair is going to end the day, and let's say, yep, keep an eye on the price action. And the last pair I want to quickly touch on, and that's USDCAD. Now looking at this, once again we managed to test this upside support line, this long-term upside support line that has been running here from the beginning of January last year, and basically today, yes, it traveled lower, it tested that line, but quickly you can see that this nice spike here that came after the the Canadian GDP figures came out. So the annualized figure came out a little bit, well, it's worse than expected, let's put it that way. And you can see straight away a nice effect here that we had on the USD-CAD. Of course, the bad effect on the Canadian dollar. So USD-CAD managed to travel, shoot up here higher, and managed to reach this key area of resistance here near the 132.43. I was talking about this one in one of my previous videos here as well, where I was covering USD-CAD, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this level here, because this is going to be that gate. This could be that gateway towards higher levels. If we see a nice good push above the 132.43 level, now this is where it could become more exciting for the bulls, and we could see this one traveling further up here towards the 132.80, or even actually further up here again, aiming for the 133 or above. But for now we're just going to stay calm and just continue observing some of these key areas. And it's like I said, specifically this 132.43, a nice good push above that could open the path towards higher levels. On the downside, with the downside, in terms of the downside, we will take a more conservative approach here and wait until we see a break below this upside support line and a drop below the 131.20 level, and this way this could confirm a forthcoming lower low here, and we could then target slightly lower levels initially, but then of course we'll take it from there if we see such a scenario happening. For now we're gonna just continue observing this, and like I said, it seems that it wants to travel higher, but then again, for a better confirmation of the upside, we would like to see a nice good push above the 132.43 level first. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and if you want to join me on Monday morning in my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful evening guys, and of course the same wonderful weekend. So yep, I hope you come back on Monday relaxed and fresh. So yep, and I'll see you there, and have a nice evening and weekend. Bye bye.